Welcome to SuperTalk, the podcast that scratches your superhero itch. Just two suburban dads nerding out over superhero stuff on the small screen and the big. Buckle up, people. Enjoy the ride. Episode 36. Here we come. Buckle up. Here we come.
Buckle up, people. Enjoy the ride.
Enjoy the ride. YouTube! My peeps! What do you say, Professor? You ready?
I'm ready.
And 3.
Welcome to SuperTalk, a weekly podcast dedicated to news and reviews of comic book media on the big and small screen. This is episode number 36. I'm your host, Brian Professor Pettis, and with me, as always, is my illustrious co-host, Titanium Tony Estrella. Titanium.
Professor, how you doing?
Pretty good week.
Yeah, pretty good week. Absolutely. Episode 36. Man, we're just knocking them out now, right?
Yeah, it seems like we just did an episode a week ago. Hang on a second, we did.
less than a week ago, but
I know.
yeah. We got a lot to talk about, so let's jump right in. It's please, Professor, as always, take us to school.
Might be a quick one this week. We'll see. We'll see how detailed we get into some of our discussions. First, before we get started, we always want to thank the listeners that bring the show to you, and those are our patrons. Patreon.com, patreon.com/supertalk. You want to sponsor the show? You can be a patron, and you will donate $1 for every episode that we make. And if we don't make an episode, you don't donate $1. But if you do, great. We love it. We happy you support us, and it's a way to support content creators like us who develop this stuff and just want you guys to listen. So thank you very much, patrons.
Yeah, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for supporting the show, and we need it, kind of.
And then we'll get right into the review section, which is, of course, sponsored by friends over at Gooder Sunglasses, GOODR.com. That's how you find great-looking sunglasses like the ones you see here. They're fantastic, polarized, affordable, wonderful. As a matter of fact, I've got a request for the people over at Gooder.
Go for it.
I would love them to make readers sunglasses that are readers, just magnified Gooder sunglasses.
Maybe like some bifocals, maybe readers on the lower half and sunglasses on the top, or what?
I hate those, but if you love them, let's make those too.
I don't love them. I'm just asking, is that what you got to be specific.
Right. What I'm thinking, so I wear their sunglasses all the time, but what happens is I'm at the pool. I'm at the pool and I've got my readers on, but it's too bright, so I'm basically doing this.
You double glass it.
And it's terrible.
Double glass.
It doesn't look very good.
Yeah, I do that when I'm fishing all the time.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, just some readers, that I can pop on when I want to be at the pool and read. But if I'm going to do it, I want to look as good as I look when I'm wearing Gooder sunglasses.
You got it. Absolutely. All right, we'll put that request in.
I know you got connections, so we'll make that happen.
I got connections, yeah.
All right. Well, the reviews this week, we've got a couple. We got a new What If episode this week, as we do have every week, and this one is a doozy. What if zombies? So, literally...
What if the Avengers got infected by the
world got affected by a zombie apocalypse, right?
Spread pretty fast, yeah, I guess. What's her name? Van Dyne. Janet.
Yes.
Janet Van Dyne from the quantum realm brought back an infection and infected Hank, and then he started infecting everybody else. And yeah, I liked the episode.
It was a dark episode.
It was very dark.
It was like any other zombie movie or TV show.
It wasn't my favorite episode. I still think the Doctor Strange is my favorite episode so far. But the humor in this was great, and Spider-Man sure showed. I think it really built into Spider-Man. He was like the lead in this. I thought it was cool.
It was. And quick note, everybody came back to voice their characters except Tom Holland did not voice the character of Spider-Man in this episode, and neither
he did not,
and neither did. There was another. Captain America.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans did not, and he only had one line in the whole movie. Avengers on the left, or something like that, and it wasn't him. But everybody else was back, which was great. Evangeline Lilly was back as Hope Van Dyne, and she played a big role in the episode.
Yeah.
But as I mentioned, like every other zombie episode out there, as Titanium said, starts off with, well, how did the zombie apocalypse happen? And the what if that changed was Hank goes to the quantum realm to rescue Janet, finds her, and she had contracted some quantum realm based virus that turned her into a zombie, and then they both come back, and the first scene we see is Hope escaping, but Scott Lang getting attacked, and then it just spreads from there. They send the Avengers, San Francisco and Seattle, the whole West Coast, they said got infected. The Avengers go to stop it, and they all get infected.
Yeah, battling for their lives. Some got out, some did not.
Which we find out a little bit later. Some got out, some did not. But, and then when we basically pick up the show in today's time, in the current timeline, the Avengers are really just a handful of characters now. It was interesting the cast that they put together to be the Avengers. It was Hope Van Dyne and Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And
the guy from Ant-Man, the Russian guy.
What was his name? It was the guy
hilarious.
The Baba Yaga guy from who was part of the ex-cons security service that was in the Ant-Man movie. He was there. Bucky was there.
Yeah,
right. So Bucky was part of the team.
Spider-Man.
We got that one. We got Carter. Sharon Carter.
Sharon Carter. Yeah, Sharon Carter. Yeah.
Sharon Carter was still on the team. Is that everybody?
Yeah, they fought.
Oh, and Happy.
Oh, that's right.
Happy was on the team.
And he had Iron Man, like one of Iron Man's watches that was a blaster.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
And then Spider-Man goes into one of his like montages and talking about how to survive the zombies, wear long sleeves.
Have you not watched any of the zombie movies?
Yeah.
That was hilarious.
Yeah. But it was about them trying to find a cure. And they end up figuring out that there's this place in New Jersey that might have a cure, and so they end up trying to travel there on a train.
Yeah, well, the place in New Jersey was an old SHIELD safe.
It's where Captain America was trained.
Yeah, it's like a base or something, and it had the equipment for them to be able to kind of work on having a cure. And they find out that the Vision is held up there, and he's found somewhat of a cure.
And the zombies are not on the way there, several things happen.
Yeah.
Sharon Carter gets infected by Captain America, gets on the train. Sharon Carter gets infected by Captain America. Bucky kills Captain America by slicing him in half with his own shield and takes the shield. And then Hope Van Dyne comes in and goes inside of Sharon Carter and then expands inside of her and basically blows her up.
Yeah.
But then she gets infected because she got a little scratch on her at the time. So they're like just waiting for her to, the virus to take hold of her. And then they end up going to this base. They find out that the zombies are not coming over the fence, and they're wondering why. The fence is wide open, and it's because Vision is there, and he has the Mind Stone, and the emanations from the Mind Stone are keeping the zombies at bay.
Yeah, they don't go near it.
And Bruce Banner was part of the team, too.
Oh, that's right, yeah. Bruce was part of the team, that's right.
Big part of the team.
That's cool. That was a pretty good
episode. That's how the episode started, was him falling through the Sanctorum at the beginning of Infinity War, and he ends up
Thanos is coming.
Yeah, he ends up fighting the two guys from the Dark Order, and he gets rescued by Wong, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man, who are zombies.
Yeah.
That was the first scene in the episode, and then he gets rescued by the remainders of the Avengers.
Pretty good. I mean, it was definitely interesting. I think, whenever you can mix zombies and superheroes together, come on, people, that's cool shit. You have to admit,
it was really cool. But at the end of the day, they end up finding Vision was experimenting. He found a cure, was able to
save Scott
Lang, but only his head. But they found Black Panther, who was still alive,
missing a leg,
but he was being fed to Wanda, who had been infected. So Vision was keeping humans alive and was feeding the pieces of them to Wanda to kind of satiate her, and that's why Black Panther was missing part of his leg, because he was using pieces of him to feed to her. And then she escapes, and all hell breaks loose. Yeah. But eventually they escape, and at the end, it's Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Scott Lang's head escape with the Mind Stone. Vision had given them the Mind Stone, which is the key to the cure, which they figured out. And they're either like, oh, if we get to Wakanda's the last safe haven on Earth. Oh, and the other member of the team was Jai Gariri, or the other Wakandan, what do they call? Dora Milaje.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was on the team as well. And she ended up dying earlier as well. But they all end up going to Wakanda, like, oh, this is a place we have all the equipment we need to replicate a cure and broadcast it across the world. Well, as they're flying there, the episode ends, and you see Thanos is there, and he's infected, and he has 5 of the 6 Infinity Stones in his gauntlet. And that was one of the weird things about these zombies, is it seemed like they had all of their powers.
Yeah.
They were not just mindless, flesh-eating goons. They thought, and they could use their powers, and they could strategize and do things. So
Iron Man was using his blasters. And,
right.
Yeah, he was Iron Man, but a zombie.
Right. So it was really, really unique the way that the powers of these zombies work. They still worked. They still had. It seemed like they could still think to some extent. And so the episode ends with them flying towards Wakanda, basically to a zombie horde and Thanos, who has 5 of the Infinity Stones, and they're bringing the Mind Stone to him. Yeah. And I guess the Watcher ends the episode by saying, and they're flying towards hope, even if hope includes, the end of the universe. Yeah. So
very cool. I liked it. Again, the Doctor Strange episode was my favorite so far. But this was way up there.
Now it makes you wonder. I think what we're seeing is these different alternate or parallel universes that have changed to some extent, and we're understanding that at some point in time this team gets formed across the multiverse, the Guardians of the Multiverse. So which member of this team do we suspect will be part of that team that they're putting together? Is it the Spider-Man that we saw in this episode? It's got to be. He's the only one who's like whole.
Yeah, I think
it's still human.
I think it's going to be the Spider-Man. Yeah, because he had Doctor Strange's cape of levitation. Yeah. So yeah, it was. I think it's going to be Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That was cool. A little twist. I thought by the clips that Spider-Man was going to have, like some kind of sorcery, whatever. But it's just the cape gravitated and picked Spider-Man to be his new master or whatever.
Saved him from Doctor Strange and early on.
A couple of times.
Yeah. So
it was cool. It was a good episode. I don't know if it's going to have any parallels to upcoming movies or anything. I think Marvel, by doing these what ifs, I think Marvel is getting their audience to understand the multiverse, and that there are other things happening simultaneously in the multiverse, and to kind of get us in that mind frame, that mindset of, what you guys think about everything that's transpired. A lot has transpired in other multiverses. So
I think this series thus far has been exactly what I was hoping it would be. An entertaining distraction. Hey, these are kind of cool twists on all the movies that we know, and it's entertaining. And we get, again, 90+% of the actors and actresses that portrayed these characters in the movies have come back to voice them in the show, which is great.
Yeah.
The continuity thing. So I just think it's really cool.
Yeah, I mean, come on. Again, cool shit.
So what do we know what's next week?
No, I don't.
Yeah. Normally you're on top of that. So
I knew that the zombies was the next one, and I do not know what the next one is.
Again, I think the two that I know that we still haven't seen are the kind of the Thor episode where Thor never really gets sent back to Earth and kind of is this kind of frat boy party Thor. And then we have the Iron Man Killmonger episode. So I'm wondering which one's next. I have no idea.
Yeah. My guess is the Iron Man Killmonger.
Yeah, that'd be great, because I do want to see Killmonger and how they... I believe Michael B. Jordan is voicing that character in the show, and I want to see how they kind of have this redemption arc or kind of parallel arc of him, kind of being the good guy in the show,
Yeah, that'll be interesting, to see if him as a good guy, and who knows? We still don't know what they're going to do with Wakanda Forever. I mean, there's speculation that, his sister could become the new Black Panther. There's speculation that perhaps Killmonger is saved and they, twist his mind and turn him around and he becomes the new Black Panther, or it could be several Black Panthers. We still don't know. I'm just excited to see Namor in that, right? Namor.
Yeah, Namor.
Yeah. I didn't butcher it.
No, it'd be good.
Yeah, I mean, 36 episodes. It took me 36 episodes to get one.
Just turn around if you ever get lost. He's right behind you.
I'm going to.
Yeah, he's right behind you.
I got a new one, too.
Yeah, I saw that.
The Batman iron suit, so kind of cool.
All right, and the other episode that was new this week was we did get episode 7 of Titans. A little better than the previous one. I know Titanium was not happy with the previous episode, but this one was a little better.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Much better.
We got the team back together.
Team's kind of working together.
And we got to see them in action and using their powers and all the other things. The thing I still don't get, I just don't understand, or maybe I just don't like it, the arc they have going on with Starfire and her sister.
And Blackfire?
Blackfire. I mean, it's like this whole redemption arc of like, they're getting to know each other and like each other again, and they're trying to humanize the fact that she had to kill her parents to take over the throne, and all of a sudden, and she gave her a suit this episode, and now she's part of the team, the Titans.
Can I confess to you something, Professor?
Sure.
Between you and I, no one else. I don't want anybody else to know this.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll keep it to myself.
There's a top secret stuff here.
Got it.
So please, I have a huge crush on her.
Which one?
Blackfire.
Blackfire?
She is
really
a smoke show. She's so beautiful, and when she put on those bands and the outfit started to transform on her, like her, I had to do a little rewind and watch that over again. I have a huge crush on her. Absolutely.
Yeah.
She's a smoke show.
Yeah, both of them are smoke shows. They're both very pretty.
I understand it's a little weird. I'm blinded to that because I just want her on the team and to see more of her. And there's a little thing going on with her and Superboy, right? Connor, he's got a little titanium in him, I think. He's got a little... He sees her as a little smoke show, and they have...
They're flirting a little bit.
Okay. It's not just me.
Yep.
I think there's something there. But, still no Raven. But I love the battle and that them finally winning a battle. They stopped Dr. Crane. They stopped the...
Basically, he had completely... His plans had come to fruition. He had totally... So they were... Nightwing convinced Barbara Gordon to allow him to use Oracle, which is this computer in Gotham PD that can do things that normal computers can't.
Somewhat illegal.
It's illegal things. It's all the things the Patriot Act, allowed America to do for several years, and then had to get reversed after Snowden.
And it's how Batman originally found the Scarecrow,
right?
And imprisoned Dr.
So he used it, found the Scarecrow, but it was a trap, and then found out that the Scarecrow had gotten into Oracle, and Nightwing wanted to use it against him, but Barbara disabled it. Anyway, they did the manual kind of detective work to find out where Scarecrow was and how he was doing what he was doing, and found out that he was at Mr. Freeze's old headquarters, and was able to stop his grand plan of distributing this drug across the city, and they defeated him. Now, of course, like in every other show, Scarecrow and Red Hood got away, and so they're on the run now, but the Titans basically stopped him, and he was very disappointed and was screaming, but I think this was kind of a jumping off point for the show. I think moving forward, we're going to now move forward with... There's still, I think the Scarecrow and Red Hood are still going to be part of the future of the series this year, but we're going to get some other parts coming in now, too.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So they're going to build on the story and the team as it is now.
Yeah, I don't think the rest of the series is all going to be about Red Hood and Scarecrow. I think they're going to be doing some other stuff now.
Very good. Yeah. We've yet to see Raven, right?
We know she's in the show. We know Wonder Girl's in the show. I mean, the promotional picture for the television show this season has both of them in it. So
we've yet to see both of them.
Right. So we know they're coming.
So how many episodes do we think we have?
13. So that was 7. So we've got 6 more. So,
very good.
Yeah.
I'm digging it. That was a great. And by the way, how dark was the mom shooting her son when he came? I mean, I did not expect that. That was pretty dark.
Yeah.
Like Starfire and Blackfire was tasked by this mob lady to find her son, to bring her son to her, and as soon as she sees him, she whips out a gun and shoots him in the head, and they were like stunned.
And she's like, he was working with the FBI, I had no other choice. And Starfire's like, oh, okay, let's shake on our deal, and burns her to a crisp.
To a crisp. Like, as it should have been. I mean...
Well, but, Dick Grayson wouldn't have liked that if he had known.
If he knew about it. No. If he knew about it, he would not. He would not approve. He's a Boy Scout. But, dark, right?
Right. Very dark.
I don't know. I thought it added to the show.
Yeah.
All
right, so we got another one of those coming this week too. That, again, good filler stuff until we're waiting for the new movies to come out. Again, the next new big theatrical release we're looking forward to now is Venom: Let There Be Carnage, which is 3 weeks away.
And not to reiterate, Professor's not really excited about that one. I'm not that crazy about this one, but I'm looking forward to it. The first Venom, I mean, honestly, the first Venom was okay.
Entertaining, but not great.
I thought it was not great, but good, very good. I liked, especially the ending what was the one that he fought, the silver one?
I don't know.
Havoc? No. Maybe it was Havoc. I don't know. But really cool. This one with Carnage, and, how does a movie fail with Woody Harrelson in it? I hope it doesn't.
Again, my entire problem with the Venom movies it was the choice that they made of how to introduce this character. It was a money grab. They're like, how can we grasp on to this character Venom that everybody knows and loves and make some money?
Yep.
Instead of taking the time to introduce Eddie Brock as a character in Spider-Man.
Yep.
To introduce him and the hatred that he has for Peter Parker because they're competitors in the newspaper business, to introduce that, and then for Spider-Man to have the black suit for some period of time and have it corrupt him, and ultimately has to get rid of it, and it goes to Eddie, and that's how Venom gets created. And only years later did they go through this redemption arc with Venom and made him the protector,
anti-hero.
Yeah, the infected protector or whatever they called him, right? And it was years later that they made him an anti-hero.
Yeah.
And they did that from jump.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, Venom's a bad guy in the comics. And only when Carnage was introduced did Venom and Spider-Man decide to work together because he was so bad.
Yeah.
And they're just fast forwarding through all of it. And again, that's my problem with the franchise right now.
Thank you, Sony. I mean, you can blame Sony for that, correct?
They're like, oh, we already did the black suit and that version of Venom in the Tobey Maguire version of Spider-Man, so we're not going to do that again. We're going to do our own now. I'm like, okay, well, you're bastardizing the history of the comics then. Hey, good for you. Hope
it makes it.
Yeah.
Still looking forward to it. I think it'll be good. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, and I think the pre-sales thus far have been about half of what Shang-Chi got. So it's doing fine, and I'm sure the movie will do well. So think about that. If Shang-Chi did about $90 million in the theaters its first week, anticipate
Labor
Venom,
Day weekend. It was a 4-day week, so
yeah, but anticipate Venom will do 40 to 50, somewhere in that neighborhood, which will be fine.
That'll be a win for them,
right? That'll be fine.
Yeah.
Will I see it? Absolutely.
Of course, you're going to see it.
Do I hope it's going to be good? Absolutely.
Do you think it's going to be good?
No, my expectations are not very high, so maybe it'll be pleasantly surprised.
I hope so too.
Anyway, let's move into the news section brought to us by our friends over at BSB.
Sexy, bring sexy back. I mean, good stuff. Go BSB, BSBswag.com. Go check them out. Go buy a hat, buy a shirt. Great workout stuff and just comfortable.
Yeah, go support them because it's cool stuff.
Yeah,
so thank you very much, BSB.
Yep.
We've got a big announcement from Marvel this week about some dates for movies in 2024, but no titles attached. This is extremely interesting, Titanium, and I have a feeling this is all leading up to D23. So we know D23 is coming in October.
Yep.
Right? October or November? I can't remember. It's October, I believe.
I think it's October.
Is it? We covered it in a previous episode, but we'll have to look that up. But it's coming, and this is where they're going to make all their big announcements. And this is Disney as a whole. So they're going to talk about Pixar and all the Disney animation stuff and Marvel. So it'll be a bunch. But this was where we got the full Phase 3 movie slate and the Disney Plus TV show reveals from Kevin Feige last time. And we believe we're going to get some huge reveals this time.
Yeah.
And they came out this week and said, hey, here's some dates for movies in 2024. Now, hang on a second. We don't know any. The only movies we know about so far go through the first part of 2023. We've got nothing in 2024. Yeah. So there's some speculation about what these projects are. And we know that they're going to be Phase 4 because Kevin Feige told us that the Fantastic Four movie was going to end Phase 3, correct?
Correct.
Right. So what we know so far through the dates that they've revealed to us in 2023, and oh, by the way, we're getting 5 movies in 2023
from
Marvel.
I'm not the only one that's a little excited about that.
That is just awesome,
yeah,
right?
That's great.
But in 2023, we went through this slate earlier for 2022, so we won't go over that now. But in 2023, in February 17th, we get Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania.
Yep.
And then May 5th is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. That one's finally coming out.
And we know we're going to get at least 4 in 2023.
So those we're going to get 5.
We're going to get 5 in 2024.
No, we're getting 4 in 2024.
4 in 2020 and 5 in 2023, right?
Yes.
So we know at least 2 of them and perhaps maybe 4 of them that are coming out in 2023.
We don't know, but what we know, all we know is that it starts off with Quantumania and then Guardians of the Galaxy, and then there's going to be one in July.
Yep.
July 28th. No movie's been attached to that date. There's an October 6th that year. No movies have been attached to that date. And November 10th. No movies have been attached to that date. Now, again, the speculation is Fantastic Four is going to be that July 28th date because that was the one logo they showed during this commercial after Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. It was Fantastic Four with no date associated with
and
it.
And he's come out publicly, and I say he, Kevin Feige, has come out publicly and said that Fantastic Four will close out Phase 3.
And so that would should tell us that the October 6th and November 10th movies are going to be the first 2 movies of Phase 4. And then we got 4 new dates announced for 2024, which we previously did not know. February 16th, 2024, my birthday. Thank you.
Oh.
May 3rd.
Yep.
July 26th and November 8th. So we're getting 4 in 2024. And again, the projects we know are coming that do not have dates associated with them, we'll kind of list them here, and we can kind of maybe theoretically slot them in, right? So we know Deadpool 3's in the works. Ryan Reynolds is working on the script every day. They're hopefully going to start filming that movie next year, but we know that's in the works. Fantastic Four, in the works. We know Blade
is in the works.
A director's been attached to that project. That's kind of going as well. Captain America 4 has
already
been announced.
Yep.
Greenlit, we know that's the one featuring Anthony Mackie as Captain America.
Yeah.
That's already been announced and greenlit. We know there's going to be another Avengers movie. Avengers 5, call it whatever you want.
Yeah.
The new Avengers, I don't know, but we know that movie's coming.
Whether that's a Thunderbolt, whether that's
no, I don't think
Young Avengers.
I think that this is just going to be the new Avengers movie.
Okay.
And then we know that there is a mutant film, whether it's the Mutants or X-Men, or they're going to start off with a character-based film. We know they're going to do something with the X-Men at some point. I think that movie will come before the end of 2024 as well. That leaves a couple of dates. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we have, right now, we have 7 unknown dates. So those 6 projects could fit into those dates very easily. But there's one unknown, so that would give us one project that hasn't been announced that we don't know about.
Well, we're speculating about the Avengers and the Mutants or X-Men, right?
But that's speculation, but it's pretty good.
They've hinted towards it,
right?
But right,
no. My guess would be for that other date or that other movie out of the ones that we just announced would be this Thunderbolt / Dark Avengers movie that they're it seems like they're making too many making too many steps to building this team. You know, the whole Val thing with U.S. Agent and then with Elena Belova and, right. I think they're building towards this Dark Avengers or Thunderbolts-based team, and I think that might be the other project that's going to be announced.
That would make sense. Absolute sense. The other thing, other speculation could be a Shang-Chi 2, another Black Panther movie.
Young Avengers.
Or
another... Now, it could be another Spider-Man. So we know that Sony is kind of obligated to have a Spider-Man movie like every 2 years.
Uh-huh.
And so if one comes out this year in 2021, we got to have one
2024.
By the end of 2023.
2023,
or I don't know if they give them a little leeway there. But that November 10th date of 2023 could be another Spider-Man title. We don't know. Yeah, we don't know anything, but I think we'll find out all of this.
But what we do know is we are going to speculate.
Yeah.
We are going to rumorize these. We are going to definitely, report on what we know and what we hear. So, absolutely.
I think at least half of these unknown projects will be announced and given dates at D23. I think
D23?
At least half. Why announce these dates if you're not going to attach names to the product? Why?
Agree.
Why announce them?
I think we're gonna get a date for Blade. We're gonna get a date for Fantastic Four. We'll get those dates. They'll put those on
the ones that we know, and Captain America 4. I think we'll get those dates for sure because those are the ones we absolutely know are coming. Right?
Yeah, absolutely for sure.
And maybe even Deadpool 3. That would be just fantastic.
Right. We hear and we know that it's being worked on and that it's being finalized, but
that's one that we know they've approved. Kevin Feige did come out and say publicly that Ryan Reynolds is working on the script. Him and his team are working on the script. They're in pre-production right now. So it's not like he's saying, what Deadpool 3 movie?
Right.
He's saying, yes, it's happening. We just don't know when yet. So I think those are the three that we'll get dates for at a minimum. If any of these others get dates,
fantastic.
Awesome.
That'd be huge.
Awesome.
Huge.
All right. Oh, and one reminder, I did put this in the show notes. I forgot to mention, and I hadn't even watched it yet. We had talked about this in previous shows. There is another show on the CW, a comic book based show called Stargirl. Stargirl. The reason I like it is because it's based on the old Justice Society of America characters, the JSA. So it's Starman was a character on the JSA, ultimately became a female named Stargirl. But you have Dr. Midnight and Hourman, the Black Cat. I mean, there's just these really, and they're going to have the original Green Lantern coming up in this season and everything else. So This is really cool. It's kind of it's definitely aimed at like kind of the tween audience and everything, which is right up my alley, of course, right? But it's definitely, I think, slanted more towards younger viewers. But it's done very well, and they do take a lot of the villains from the comics straight and put them in the show. They do take a lot of the JSA characters and put them in the show. So I haven't even started watching the second season, but it is available on the CW. I think it's every Tuesday it comes out. But it's on all the first, I think, 5 episodes are available on demand right now. So.
I've seen a couple episodes. It's good. I haven't been.
Did you go to season 1?
I saw a couple episodes in season 1. Yeah.
Oh, you did? Yeah.
And I think a lot of the Arrowverse, like a lot of the Green Arrow stuff, came over since it kind of ended. It kind of washed out.
Yeah.
I think a lot of that audience went to Stargirl.
Yeah. We'll see. I watched all of season 1. It was originally on the DC streaming service. I did watch it, and it was good. But then I totally forgot that season 2 had started in August. I wanted to mention it, so something to check out for some of our younger listeners as well. Okay, well let's. A couple other things, right? WandaVision
snagged some Emmys. The first Marvel Emmys.
Well, they had it's the part of the Emmys that's the kind of the pre. It's not because the prime time the regular Emmy awards are at the end of this month, right? It's end of September, but they do the kind of the production based awards,
creative arts or something like that.
Art and kind of more of the back office type of Emmy awards, right? So they got a couple of those, right?
Yeah, costume design and stuff like
that. But it gets for WandaVision.
It's a huge get for Marvel. Period. To be. In that award series, I think it's a big get. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's a huge kudos to them. And it's the Disney Plus series that won.
Well, Mandalorian had got some huge awards as well, and that was a big Disney Plus series, as you can imagine. But for Marvel. Disney Plus, this was huge. Just for them to kind of get over the hump, we got some Emmys. Hey, cool.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's good.
Very cool. And then you saw something about Fandom. So we talked about Fandom last week, I believe, but that's coming, I think, in October. This is DC's version of D23, where they come out and just kind of have a day where they just talk about their stuff, and they're going to be talking about movies.
They said they're going to be talking about 6 movies They're going to be specifically talking about 6. So that's going to be very interesting. We might get...
So which ones do we know?
Well, I think they're going to talk about Aquaman 2.
Well, which ones do we know? We know Matt Reeves' Batman is the
For
first
sure.
one coming out.
I'm sorry. That's a given.
And then we know the Flashpoint movie.
Well, Black Adam. That's a given, right? They're going to talk about Black Adam.
And
Flash, for sure. So Batman, Black Adam, Flash.
All those are filming right now. Or
Aquaman 2 filming right now. And Shazam. Shazam
Fury of the Gods.
2, Fury of the Gods.
That's 5.
That's 5.
So what's the 6th?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it possible they're doing another Joker movie? That would be the other one that I would think. I heard rumors that
there's other rumors that I've heard about the character Zatanna, the magical chick.
Really?
With a standalone, yeah. And then there was another rumor about something else. I don't know. But yeah, that would be great. That'd be very cool, right?
Yeah, so we know 5. We assume there's 5. We know there's 5 that are in kind of a production or pre-production process right now, right? But
it's well known, yeah.
So what's the 6th? That's the big question.
That's the big question.
And so...
My guess is Zatanna, that character. She's like a magical magician type chick. So that would be kind of cool.
Very cool.
So we'll see.
Yep.
But who knows? But that's exciting. And as soon as we hear, we'll let the audience know, so...
Of course we will. All right, well, let's move into...
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Just DC. I mean, they don't have the book of characters that Marvel does, obviously, but they're iconic characters that they do have.
Well,
and it just... it hurts me that they have not capitalized and utilized... I'm hoping this Batman thing... Batman's always been huge. Superman, always been huge. Wonder Woman... I think they missed the last Wonder Woman movie, but always huge, great movies. I just wish they would develop. This Flash movie, I think a lot is riding on this. Yes, Black Adam. Yes, Shazam. Great. But the core,
And Aquaman was very successful.
Aquaman was very successful. It was good. I didn't think it was great. It was good.
I think DC doesn't have the breadth of characters that Marvel has, but the depth of the characters they have is incredible. I mean, I would put Batman's Rogues Gallery up against Spider-Man's. I mean, they're very comparable. I mean, they have two of the greatest Rogues Gallery villains, come from those comic books in the history of comic books. So those are fantastic. And that's why Batman's been the most portrayed superhero in cinematic history, because
I would put him up against Spider-Man any day.
Oh, and he's without question the cash cow for DC.
Sure.
But to your point, I mean, they have very deep character. I mean, the original Justice League characters are all awesome, and they botched that. They botched it big time. And we hope. Look, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, home run. Jason Momoa as Aquaman, home run. Yeah. Hit it out of the park.
Henry Cavill as Superman.
We think home run.
Home run.
But DC hasn't committed to him long term as that character.
So I'm saying, Warner Brothers, get off your ass. I mean, stop screwing
I think he was awesome.
with the creative people.
Right.
These suits and these money-hungry accountants get involved in these superhero movies. Let the people with the passion of the characters create. Let the creators
Well, and that's
create.
one of the reasons why I'm so looking forward to the new Batman movie that Matt Reeves is doing, because that's exactly what he did.
Absolutely.
He dove deep into this early version of Batman and is turning that character kind of upside down from a cinematic perspective, and is not worried about the Justice League and all this other crap. He's just develop this character.
Yeah.
And I think they could run with that version of Batman for a number of years. Now, it'll never be integrated with the Justice League, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Right? So that's kind of weird. Unless they do some Flashpoint thing, which they
could happen.
Right, they could do.
Which would be smart if, okay. Sorry.
Let's get into our top of the week this week, and that's, of course, brought to you by our friends over at Studio G Studios. Home of the Man Band, Corner of the Cob, our friends over at Studio G. Support them because they support us, and they're
Absolutely
really cool.
Love those guys. Home of the Man Band, Corner of the Cob.
All right, so top of the week this week is, we kind of alluded to it last week, we've got 2 new movies from Marvel this year thus far. We got Black Widow and Shang-Chi and the Legend of Ten Rings. And so we kind of talked about last week during our review of Shang-Chi. We're like, wow, this is a really good movie. We don't really know where it fits into our rankings. We'll have to kind of... And Titanium's like, let's do that next week. I'm like, okay, let's do that next week. So Titanium and I are going to go put these two movies in our slate of MCU rankings. We will publish those rankings again. So if you want to see those rankings, it was episode number 1 of SuperTalk. Our first episode ever was our MCU movie ranking.
Yeah.
So go back and you can check that out on YouTube. It's available on
Spotify.
Yep.
Apple Podcasts.
Yep.
Google Podcasts.
We will put that list again in our show notes, our original list, and then we're going to now slot, and we'll kind of remind people where we are there in our list, but we'll slot these two movies in our list. And right now, of course, there are 23 previous MCU movies, and now with these two new ones, we'll have a total of 25. So we'll just kind of slot these in and let everybody know where we think they end up. Which one do you want to do first, Titanium?
Do you want? I don't want to read my whole list.
No. Which movie would you like to put in the list first?
Black Widow.
Okay. Would you like me to go first? Would you like?
I can go first.
Okay.
So I put Black Widow in at 23. I slotted Black Widow in at 23. I flipped Thor and Captain Marvel. So I have.
Wait a minute, you're revising your previous list?
I had to revise.
So you're saying now that you thought about it more, your previous list was not accurate?
No, it was accurate, but legitimately, I just watched again. I watched 3 movies over again. Like, they were just
the original Thor you watched again?
I watched the original Thor again, and I watched Captain Marvel again. Mm-hmm. It was on, like, TNT or something.
Right.
I just got hooked into it. Yeah. And then also...
now, let me ask you a question about that, because I've always wanted to know what you do. So, when it's on TNT or whatever, you're just watching, you're flipping channels. Oh, Captain Marvel's on. You flip over, and it's on. And you're like, oh, awesome, I'll watch this. Do you continue to watch it on TNT with the commercials, or do you flip over to Disney Plus and start it there so you don't have to watch the commercials?
I continue to watch it with the commercials.
I know, I've done that too. And I'm like why am I not just going to Disney Plus and firing it up and going to this point in the movie?
And I kick myself afterwards like, man, I could have watched this without commercials.
I know.
I have it teed up on Disney Plus. I don't understand it.
I do it after like the 3rd commercial break. I'll be watching it and then I'm like, okay. And I'll go do something new during the first commercial and I'll come back and I'll do something again. And I'm like, why am I watching commercials? Yeah. Just go to Disney Plus. Fire it up. I know.
So I watched Thor again. I watched Captain Marvel again, and I watched Age of Ultron again.
Yep.
And I cannot believe how good that movie is. And I don't know. Every time I see it, I'm like, why isn't that up there higher on my rankings? But anyway, I digress. So yeah, I got it at Black Widow at 23.
And so read from 20 down now for you.
From 20 down is... Okay, so at 19 I have Iron Man 2. 20 I have Iron Man 3. 21 Captain Marvel. 22 Thor, the original Thor. And 23 Black Widow. And then 24 The Incredible Hulk. 25 Thor in the Dark World.
Okay, so it's the 3rd from the last on your list of MCU movies.
If it's at 23, yeah. 25 movies, that's it.
Yeah.
3rd to the last.
Okay.
And I even watched it 3 times.
And I will say, I've only watched it once in the theaters. I have not yet watched it again, even though I have the opportunity to watch it again anytime I want to. I have not yet watched it a second time. And that probably tells you where I'm going to rank this. But I did exactly what you did. It is the 3rd from the last. The only 2 movies I have in my rankings.
Are you shitting me?
No, I did the same thing. After Black Widow, I have The Incredible Hulk and Thor: The Dark World. It is the 3rd from the bottom.
You are kidding me.
No,
are you
I'm
kidding?
totally serious. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So my last 6.
You know what? We should start a podcast again.
Yeah, I know. Really. My last 6 are the original Thor movie, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Iron Man 2. Then I've got Black Widow, Incredible Hulk, and Thor: The Dark World.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm exactly the same place. It was. I mean, I think if people go back and listen to our review of that movie, I just and again, defending a little bit. You know, the build up to this movie was so long and just took so long, and we saw so many previews and so many trailers. and my expectations were at an all-time high because I was just starving for content. And you know what, Marvel, it didn't need to be great. It just needed to be very good.
Yeah.
And it wasn't. And so that's why I was disappointed.
I think it was good. I loved the fight scenes. I thought the action scenes were extremely entertaining. But the fact that it happened in the past, and we knew the outcome. You know what I'm saying?
Stakes. Like, you felt like there was no stakes.
No, there were no stakes. We knew what the outcome was going to be. It was just like this slice of her history. And I thought it was entertaining. I thought they missed the mark on the Taskmaster. I thought the big bad as Volkov or Venkov or whoever, I thought that was really uneventful, and it didn't move me.
I don't want to revisit the whole thing again. I mean, it's the fact is it entertaining? Absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, we've said this before about Marvel movies. The last movie on the list, I still enjoyed, and I still found entertaining, and I've still watched it several times.
Yeah, I'll watch it. I mean, if I'm clicking through and it's on USA or HBO or something, I'm going to stay on it, even if it is Black Widow. So, yeah.
Okay. So, let's move on to the Shang-Chi movie then.
This was a lot harder than I thought it would be.
I thought it was going to be hard, but it ended up being very easy, and I was surprised at how easy it was to break.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
I'll go first this time.
Okay, go.
So I put it at number 11.
Are you shitting me?
No.
Stop it.
Yeah, put it at number 11. So it is I'll kind of go through maybe 5 through 11.
Go through 1 through 11.
All right. So number 1 for me is The Avengers. Number 2, Avengers Infinity War. Number 3, Avengers Endgame. Number 4 is Black Panther. Number 5, Captain America Winter Soldier. Number 6, Iron Man, the original. Number 7, Captain America Civil War. Number 8, Thor Ragnarok. Number 9, Guardians of the Galaxy. Number 10, Spider-Man Homecoming. And now at number 11 is Shang-Chi. And as I mentioned during the review last week, it's definitely in the top half, which it is in my list now. I wasn't sure if it was going to crack the top 10, which it barely did not, but it's right there. Like, if you told me right now, would you rather watch Spider-Man Homecoming or Shang-Chi again? I'd say put Shang-Chi. I mean, I'd watch Shang-Chi again. Of course. Well, because it's a little bit more recent. But which one I liked more, I don't know. But again, it's right there. It's like 11.
No question.
Yeah.
Wow. You are very close to where I put it. Very close.
Okay.
It cracked my top 10.
It did.
As a matter of fact, it's at number 10
number 10
for me. It is at number 10 for me. It is
All
right
right, so
there.
go through your top 10 then.
My top 10 is Iron Man, the original Iron Man. You call it nostalgia, but maybe so. I'm a sucker for it. But number 1, it started it all for me. Number 1 is Iron Man. Number 2, Avengers Endgame. Number 3, Infinity Wars. Number 4 is Guardian of the Galaxy. Number 5, Captain America Winter Soldier. Number 6 is the original Avengers. Number 7 is Thor Ragnarok. Number 8, Captain America Civil War. Great. Number 9, Spider-Man Homecoming. And number 10, Shang-Chi.
So what got bumped? What was your number 11?
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man got bumped down to the original Ant-Man got bumped.
The original Ant-Man, and I love Paul Rudd. So I have in Michael Pena, that combination, those two, they just stole something from me.
Yeah.
I for some reason I had them high up there because I love those two. So I had them at number 10, but they got bumped for sure. Shang-Chi is a superior movie.
Yeah, it's and look, the reviews keep coming in very positive. I think it's got an enormous approval rating, not only amongst fans but amongst the critics. I think it's getting like 4.5 out of 5 stars and a lot of reviews.
The second highest Rotten Tomato score out of all movies.
Look, and if those of you who pay attention to Rotten Tomatoes, it's not uncommon that critics' scores don't match viewer scores. Yeah. Critics tend to be a little bit more harsh than consumers or viewers do, which is natural. But this one is high on both of those lists, which tells you that not only the critics think it's good, the fans think it's good, and that usually means it's pretty good.
Have you read anything about the Chinese drama that's going on?
Well, I know. Well, I heard ahead of this coming out that China was not very happy about it coming out, and they were anticipating that it was not going to do very well in China because of that.
So I don't think that the Black Widow has cracked China yet or been released in China, and I don't think Shang-Chi is either. Apparently, some of Simu Liu, some of his tweets have resurfaced from about 3 or 4 years ago, and his criticism over the Chinese government. And I believe he called it a third world country because of his parents and some personal issues that he had. So I think that has resurfaced in the media, the Chinese media, and I think that the government is making a stand again for that. So
it is absolutely. I mean, that just goes to show you how dangerous and powerful social media is at the same time. You know, we've talked about this. You know, it'll be forever.
Yeah.
You say it. You know, when 5 years from now, when you and I are incredibly famous, movie critics and reviewers.
Well, as we're sipping tequila on,
they'll
our
come
private
back
jet.
and look at our MCU rankings. And, what were you thinking?
Right. We'll get that call on the private jet, and the Juan, our air pilot, our jet pilot, will Titanium. You have Kevin Feige on line 2. Okay.
He wants to talk about your heavy criticism of Scarlett Johansson during her lawsuit against Disney back in 2021. Yeah. So look, it is forever, and unfortunately, that stuff happens. You know what? I think China's in a very, very important market for these companies as far as growth and expansion, and frankly, making money. And
sure,
you don't crack the $1 billion worldwide.
Not without that market.
Without that market, you don't do it. Mm-mm. That being said, doesn't really affect me that much.
No, not at all. Doesn't hurt me. No skin off my lip. But I will say it'll still make over $500 million.
But I think, and I think their willingness to invest in projects that won't do well in China is true. I mean, they're not going to invest in characters and projects, and again, there's been speculation of why we don't have Mephisto in the MCU and things like that because
Free Guy was released. That's a Disney product. Free Guy was released in China to the Chinese market, so it did okay. So. Who knows? I think they come to their senses. This movie's about them. This movie is rich in their history. So, wow, close again, huh? 11, and I had it at 10. Isn't that bizarre?
Yeah,
we really should do a podcast. I'm telling you, we should do some kind of.
Yeah, I know. No, it deserves it. Look, people, the reviews are great. I think it did another like 30 million last weekend, so it did not have kind of the sophomore slump that Black Widow had in the box office. The second weekend did very well.
Yeah,
I think they did like a $9.5 million Friday, which is always good for a movie when they do a.
We'll know tomorrow what the weekend totals are, but it looks very promising.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to do another 30.
They definitely won the weekend.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. But we're now after its initial record-breaking first weekend. It's on its way to doing easily 150 million, which for a movie released in Labor Day is spectacular. And again, I don't anticipate this slowing down probably for another couple of weeks. I think it's going to do very well
until another blockbuster hits.
Yeah, maybe until Venom. I mean, that may take it over.
Maybe Venom, or if something else hits. I don't know what the release date of the James Bond movie is, but I'm looking forward to that one. Dune, looking forward to that one.
But that one's coming out on HBO Max, so hey, we don't know.
Yeah, they got to get away from the
same thing
stuff.
with the Soprano, the Tony Soprano biopic of him.
That looks good
that's
too.
That's coming out October 1st, I think.
The young Tony Soprano, how he became. Yeah, that looks really good.
Yeah.
I mean, Ray Liotta's in it. How can it not be good?
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
It's gonna be good.
All right. Hey, Professor, let's ring the bell.
Let's do that. Well, that's it for us this week. We'll be back next week for more Super Talk. To get in touch with us on social media, you can hit us up via email at supertalkpodcast@outlook.com or at supertalkpod on Twitter. Until then, stay super, everyone.
And we're out.
52 minutes. I love it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Home for dinner.